Hi, my name is Emily, and I never liked being the center of attention at all. But somehow, I became the center of the whole town's gossip, and it destroyed my life. As far back as I can remember, I loved helping in my parents' little family restaurant. It wasn't fancy, but people said our food tasted like happiness, love, and childhood memories. I felt safe there, like I belonged, until one mistake ruined everything I ever cared about. One evening, after a busy town festival, dozens of people suddenly fell sick after eating. Hospitals were full, people vomited, and rumors spread fast our restaurant had served contaminated food. I was stunned when police officers came, asking questions while my parents stood frozen with shock. That's when my sister Clara stepped forward, crying dramatically, and pointed her accusing finger straight at me. She said Emily was in the kitchen all day. She must have done something careless. I couldn't breathe. My own sister just blamed me, and everyone immediately believed her trembling voice. The police took samples, and it turned out cleaning chemicals had been mixed into the food. Neighbors who once adored me now glared at me, whispering, "That's the poison girl." At school, kids avoided me like I was carrying a deadly disease no one wanted. Even teachers gave me strange looks, treating me differently, like I was dangerous and untrustworthy. Meanwhile, Clara acted like a victim, sighing about how she had to suffer because of me. But deep down, I knew the truth. Clara had always been jealous of me. She hated how our parents trusted me more, how customers asked for me, not her. And now, she finally had the perfect chance to turn everyone against me completely. Late one night, I overheard Clara giggling with her friend about the perfect evil plan. She confessed she had poured chemicals into the food to frame me and ruin my reputation. My blood boiled, but I stayed silent because I knew I needed solid proof. The next morning, I set my phone on record and hid it in the kitchen. That evening, Clara came back with her friend, laughing while they dumped soap into stew. My hands shook, but finally, I had undeniable proof of her sick, twisted betrayal. The next day, I showed my parents the video, praying they'd finally believe me. But Clara gasped, crying, "That's fake. She edited this to frame me," and everyone froze. I couldn't believe it. My parents actually hesitated, unsure who to trust between us. Clara saw her plan slipping and spread more rumors online, claiming I wanted to kill people. At school, things got worse. Students whispered behind my back, saying I belonged in prison. I felt like my life was slipping away, piece by piece, with no hope. The only person who stayed by my side was my best friend, Mia. Mia believed me when no one else did, promising we'd catch Clara red-handed together. We came up with a plan: trap Clara at the next big restaurant event. That night, we hid behind the pantry door, phones recording, hearts pounding loudly. Sure enough, Clara sneaked in with another bottle of chemicals, smirking like pure evil. She whispered, "This time, no one will doubt it's Emily," then poured liquid into sauce. Mia and I jumped out, yelling, "We caught you!" while shocked staff gasped in disbelief. Clara froze, her hands shaking, realizing dozens of witnesses had just seen everything. She tried to cry, but the truth was right there, recorded on multiple phones. My parents' faces turned pale with horror as they realized I had been innocent all along. Clara screamed that she just wanted attention as police officers dragged her away in handcuffs. For the first time in months, I felt the heavy weight of false guilt lift. But freedom didn't erase the pain of betrayal, humiliation, and being hated by everyone. At school, people apologized, but the cruel words they had once shouted still echoed inside me. Sometimes I stared in the mirror, wondering if I'd ever really escape Clara's lies. Mia reminded me, "You're not defined by her jealousy. You're stronger than her poison." Weeks later, Clara wrote me a letter from juvenile detention, finally admitting the full truth. She confessed she hated me for being trusted, admired, and loved while she felt invisible. I cried reading her words, realizing her jealousy had consumed her until she destroyed us both. Months later, Clara came home, quieter, ashamed, her eyes no longer filled with arrogance. One night, she knocked on my door with 2 mugs of cocoa in her hands. She whispered, "Can we start over, not as enemies, but as sisters who need each other?" I hesitated, remembering the betrayal, but deep inside, I knew hate would destroy me too. So I nodded, and we sat silently together, sipping cocoa, rebuilding broken pieces slowly. Trust wasn't instant, but step by step, we tried to heal what jealousy had shattered. Clara begged to work at the restaurant again, under supervision, proving she was truly sorry. At first, customers avoided her, but she worked harder than ever, slowly regaining trust. One day, an old customer told me, "You both survived this storm stronger than before." For the first time, I smiled genuinely, feeling like I was finally free. The restaurant flourished again, families filled tables with laughter, and the poison past began fading away. But deep down, I knew scars remained, ones that would never fully disappear. Even now, I sometimes hear echoes of whispers calling me Poison Girl in my nightmares. But every morning, I remind myself I am not my sister's lies. Forgiveness wasn't about excusing her, it was about freeing myself from chains of bitterness. Clara still struggles with envy sometimes, but instead of plotting, she talks to me honestly. We share responsibilities now, laughing again, even creating new recipes together for our restaurant. The community admires us, saying our story shows how broken bonds can truly heal. Sometimes I look at Clara and wonder, was the pain worth the person she became? She may have been responsible for contaminated food, but she taught me resilience and forgiveness. I'm not proud of what happened, but I'm proud of how I survived it. And maybe, just maybe, that's all that matters in the end. Because the girl once called poison now walks with her head high, unshaken by lies. And the sister who once betrayed me is slowly learning the meaning of true love. Our family restaurant isn't just about food anymore, it's about second chances and healing. Sometimes people still bring up the scandal, but instead of pain, I feel strength. Because I know I overcame it, and Clara can never steal my light again. If you asked me years ago, I'd say I hated my sister completely. But now, I've learned hate chains you down, while forgiveness sets you free. So yes, my sister was responsible for contaminated food, but I chose forgiveness over revenge. And that decision saved not just me, but her too. Because love, even when poisoned, can still be healed with time, truth, and second chances. That's my story. Painful, dramatic, but real, and I wouldn't trade the lessons for anything. Now, when people look at me, they don't see Poison Girl anymore. They see Emily, the girl who survived betrayal, fought for truth, and found her strength again. And deep down, I know I'll never let jealousy break my family again. Because I've learned trust takes years to build, but only seconds to destroy. And if you're not careful, those seconds can cost you the people you love most. Clara and I may never be the same, but we're stronger than before. So, I hold on to hope, because sometimes hope is the only cure for poison. And maybe, just maybe, we'll be okay after all. That's the story of how my sister almost destroyed me but also saved me. Because without her betrayal, I'd never discover how strong I really am. And without forgiveness, I'd still be chained to her mistakes forever. Now, I choose love, healing, and resilience even if the scars remain visible. Because scars don't mean you're broken. They mean you survived. And I survived. Stronger, wiser, braver. So, if you ever face betrayal, remember you're not defined by their lies. You're defined by how you rise again, even when poisoned by envy. And that's my truth. My sister was responsible for the contaminated food, but I chose forgiveness.